But yeah, I think we can use the 8th right now.
Thank you.
Maybe. I hope. Nope. Still can't.
What do you mean still can't?
Gotta do a little bit more of this story, I guess, and find out if they...
Oh my god, I walked away.
In uncertain times, naught but the simplest words of wisdom will suffice. That which lives is destined to die. Love leads to loss. Every beginning has an end. Treasure every moment, every step of your descent.
Forgive me, my friends, but I must return to Megaduta for the time being. There I can manage better the crisis and dispatch my troops as the situation demands. Do you mind, madam? In that case, we shall carry out an investigation of our own here in the city. Mayhap the residents can tell us about the first of the transformations and the conditions in which it occurred. If we can ascertain what exactly triggered these tragic events, it may give us some insight as to a possible solution. Time is of the essence. Let's swim to 3 groups that we may cover more ground. Elizay and I will see Depox's path, Thancred and Yshtola, pray make for Dharma. I'll leave Arthur to Grahan you, Autumn. Any information you can get on the first blasphemy or the manifestation of the final days here in the city would be most helpful. Arthur is home to the High Crucible of Alchemia, whose alchemists forged many of our warning scales. It seems as good place as anything to start an investigation, don't you think? I spoke briefly with Nuhadin, the chief alchemist there on my last visit. He should be happy to answer our queries. Yeah, what am I doing? Let's go. As time is of the essence, we gotta get this shit showing in gear. We will assist in this hatch up in investigating the crisis that plagues the city. Did you happen to catch any sight of the creatures? I did. As I was going about my work, I was struck by crashing footsteps so powerful that the very ground shook. I rushed outside and could not believe what I beheld. The night sky was burning. Suddenly, I heard panicked screams coming out of the direction of Belchalon Bazaar. The next instant, a monstrous beast poked its head out from amidst the stalls. A handful of the Radiant rushed to the scene, only to be sent sprawling as the fiend and its minions propelled themselves skyward. So the blasphemy came from the vicinity of the markets. This knowledge may prove useful. I thank you for sharing your tale. Well, I do believe we now know where to inquire next. To the bazaar. Quite bizarre that it happened at the bazaar. I'll stop. Hello. Is something the matter, traveler? If you are lost, rescue you as assistance. Your offers was appreciated. We're not lost, but in need of information. Did you know about the thing? I saw it all, though I wish I had not. I was going about my work, when all of a sudden a piercing scream cut through the air. I turned around, and there was the fiend, its massive body bursting through that entryway with the force of a tidal wave. Then it was gone as quickly as it came. Judging by their accounts, the transformation had already occurred by the time the beast reached the bazaar. It tore through the west side of the bazaar and headed towards the Aetherite Plaza. In other words, the blasphemy may have first appeared in this vicinity. That being the case, the people in the It's always like newer words that trip me up and then I just lose all focus. Going after that enormous beast, are you? You're a little late on that, bud. I saw it, including the very instant that poor bastard transformed. Damn the gods for putting me here. It started over there by the window. A few men, merchants probably, talking and drinking. Conversation must have taken a turn for the worst. Next thing I know, their leader, I suppose he was, buries his head in his hands. Black mist was swirling about him, and his whole body bursts apart, and there was Sam's a hideous, slappery beast, massive and foul, all gaping maws and bulging eyes. His friends start shrieking too, and then the blackness comes again until the change takes them too. Stuff in nightmares, I tell you. Nightmarish indeed. Incidentally, do you perchance know who those merchants were? No, I'm a decorator by trade. Not much cause to mingle with their sort. Saw Melil, the barmaid, chatting with them, though. She may know something. It was unlike anything I've ever heard. I turned around in shock, and from an ominous cloud of black mist rose the creature, enormous and ghastly to behold. As for what happened next, to recall it sends shivers up my spine. By some stroke of luck, I was able to slip outside before the beast got its claws on me. But the sight that greeted me offered no solace. The blue sky above turned red as blood. Mary, myself, and the other survivors clung to each other for dear life until the radiant host came to our aid. Wait, did I hear you correctly? The beast manifested before the sky began to burn. I'm certain of it. The windows here offer a clear view of the sky, and I saw nothing out of the ordinary until the beast appeared and began to rage. Curious. Leo of the bar, what is your wisdom? Oh, hello there. Welcome to Medreed's Mayan. What can we get you? Information! We are investigating the so-called blasphemy on the Satrap's behalf. We hear it was one of your customers, a merchant, that first underwent the transformation. What can you tell us about him? He was something of a regular here, especially of late. Oh no. Him? Shit. He ran his own consortium, dealing primarily with the experts of Thavnair specialties. It's through him we met Natsia. Yes, and that is the same Khazal, no doubt. A rather successful man from what I gather. That said, it was clear he had fallen on hard times of late. Those ghastly towers popping up everywhere cannot have been good for business. Even now, with the towers gone, the collapse of the Empire has led to all sorts of problems elsewhere. The market for luxuries is surely not one it once was. Trying times for the head of a trading consortium, indeed. Khazal was a compassionate man. Even as his own business suffered, he did what he could to provide for the artisans, fishermen, and many others who counted on him to sell their wares. Indeed, that was the very topic of yesterday's meeting, as far as I could tell. Yet as they discussed matters further, Khazal's tone grew grave and grim. It was then that... Forgive me. I would not have you recall the memory if it brings you pain. If I could, I would just ask one more thing. Did you notice anything unusual about Khazal in particular? Please, anything at all. Sorry, nothing springs to mind. Perhaps someone else can help you. Khazal lived for his work and had no family that I know of. His employees and associates knew him best, but they too are lost to us. Still, perhaps his neighbors know something I do not. I can direct you to them if you believe it would help. What do you say? Better than nothing. Come, let's see where this goes. Yeah, the company. You're very proud of your company, mechanic. I get it. Khazal, you say? Yes, I've known him since he was a boy. If there was ever a man that was born to be a merchant, it was him. Always early to depart, late to return. He'd spend his days procuring the finest wares and seek out willing customers. You could say it came to him as easily as breathing. Sadly, business was flagging of late. No surprise really with how dangerous travel had become. He was cooped up in his house from dawn until dusk the other day, no doubt racking his brain for a way to turn his fortunes around. Then at night, I heard the door open. I looked out to see Khazal sitting on a bench, his head hung low, the man with the weight of the world on his shoulders. I see. The situation must have been quite dire indeed. Did you notice anything out of the ordinary? Nothing to speak of, other than the troubles with the consortium. He was the same old Khazal, cordial and honest as always. Also, literal drill. Like, this is the 88 set, or 87 set, or something. Or no, that's just from the 83 dungeon. Damn. If you really wanted to get into the back of a dragon, I suppose that works. Pardon our truism, as you may not have noticed, but a great danger has come to Thavnair. I encourage you to stay alert and prepare to flee the city should the situation turn dire. But before we leave you in peace, pray allow us to ask a question or two. Do you know about the local merchant named Khazal? If so, did you notice anything unusual with him recently? Khazal? I know him. In fact, we spoke just the other day. Like many others, his business was doing poorly. Still, it seems as though he managed to turn things around thanks to a generous order from Ruvida Fibers. Why, he was practically dancing the streets. I haven't spoken with him since, but I assume it all went well. Gina Baha might be able to tell you more, though. As I recall, he was the one who brokered the arrangement. Gina Baha at Ruvida Fibers. That sounds promising. I get the feeling, because there seemed to be a trend in that dungeon. That deal did happen, but then for some reason, the guy canceled it. Like, be it good reasons or bad. And that basically left Khazal with no options. And became hopeless at the situation. That seems to be the word of the hour. Bonjour. Pardon me, but you are in charge of buying and selling here, yes? We have a few questions that we'd like to... I'm sorry, but I simply don't have time to chat. If you haven't noticed, we have our hands full at the moment. We must carry all our wares and equipment to safety before those accursed beasts return. In that case, might we be of assistance? Perhaps we could speak when the job is done. Very well. You can start by helping us move our equipment. Ask the others what to put where. And you can carry our fabrics. Go through that door and speak with Kamala. She'll tell you the rest. Remember, these textiles are our livelihood. Handle them with care. Right, chuck them into the river. Got it. This area for employees only. Out, out. I'm helping. Now, Sat, you've come to help. Oh, praise be to Midruva. Midruva. Kind stranger, I welcome your assistance. On your way here, you pass through storehouses, yes? I'd like you to carry that small crate to Nabrifal by the storehouse near the hatchery. The crate of clothing is from I was not designed for this culture. Limited time to... Oh my god. What do you mean? Manuha. 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 Yeah. Okay. Really? God forbid you move to the other room. Load bearing. Carrying a weighty burden and growing wearier with each passing second. Again! Just push it across the floor, gamer. Like, what the hell? To tell the truth, we're grateful for this distraction. Too many terrible happenings of late. But generous souls like yours give me hope that we may emerge from this trial even stronger. I pray we meet again in more peaceful times. Hopefully you learn to be less lazy. Ah! We looked to the burning skies in confusion, and then before we could even begin to make sense of it, a hideous creature burst through the doors, shrieking. We ran for our lives, but one of my colleagues was not so fortunate. He cried out, a scream of agony and terror, and in the next instant he too sprouted fearsome claws. The sight of it caused another fellow to panic, and then... he too transformed. Panic and despair. Sorry. You knew the merchant Kazal, did you not? I believe he had some dealings with your establishment. Kazal? I know him well. We arranged for his consortium to deliver a large shipment of fabrics, but in the end, we received a bit. Haha, there we go. I understand that his business is struggling, but so is ours. Another of our most reliable trading partners agreed to transport the goods for a much smaller commission, and we'd have been fools to refuse. I felt terrible for withdrawing the offer, but you must understand, we simply had no choice. We tried to put on a brave face when I delivered the news, but his dejection and despair were as plain as day. He said he'd discuss it with his associates, but I could tell he'd all but given up hope. Dejection and despair. Wait, could that be it? That such intense emotions were what triggered his transformation? Sounds like it. Much remains unclear, but I believe we're drawing closer to an answer. At any rate, we must discuss our findings with the others. You could say it's the common thread.
So the merchant Karzal was gravely concerned about his business in the days preceding his untimely end.
The tales we heard were much the same. The first victims to be changed into blasphemies were all overcome with anguish of one manner or another. Then those who saw their loved ones stolen before their eyes succumbed to a similar panic, setting in motion a chain of transformations.
Fear, unease, despair. These negative feelings serve as a catalyst.
If so, then it is not unlike the calamity that befell the ancients.
With their creation magics, they unwittingly gave form to untold horrors. Had they simply lost control, surely it would have manifested in many forms, not all of them monstrous. Yet somehow, this phenomenon is triggered solely by the darkness in their hearts, a common thread with what we now witness.
common, but not identical. While the beasts the ancients faced were forged with magic alone, those of today are born of sentient beings. Why remains to be seen. But there is one fundamental difference between us and our predecessors.
And he says it.
Our souls are sundered, whereas theirs were not.
Their souls were luckily powerful enough to withstand the catalyst.
Perhaps that single variable makes all the difference.
If I may, there was another detail that troubled me. We have it on good authority that Karl Zahl's transformation took place before the skies began to burn.
What? If that's true, then the situation's more dire than we realized. It means even if there's no ominous sign presaging the final days, anyone, anywhere, has the potential to become a beast. Even in lands we thought safe, even as we speak.
Look! It's the satrap! My countrymen, I am relieved and heartened to see you strong and safe. While the danger has not yet passed, far from it, allow me to assure you that the beasts that raged within the city walls have been exterminated to the last. Outside this sanctuary, the brave men and women of the Radiant Host and our dragon ally continue to battle our unholy foes. I pray these tidings put your minds at ease and help you calm your hearts. Have faith that we shall soon conquer this terrible trial.
Your Excellency, is there any word from Balaga's stand? My grandson was bound for there yesterday, and I worry for his life.
We are still awaiting a report, but I promise you, as soon as I have aught to share...
Your Excellency, I bring grave news.
Oh, I'm not...
You are?
Please don't say it's the place and the thing.
I'm Matsya of
Oh!
Akyali, a humble fisherman.
Hi, Matsya.
Ah, I remember you from our first visit.
Wait, you're... But no, that can wait. When the skies turned red, I set off for Balaga's stand.
She's gonna turn to
for the safety of a
She's gonna
friend.
hit the fan again.
But as I drew near the village, I saw dreadful beasts all about.
No! Gods have mercy! Your Excellency! Save my grandson, I beg of you!
We will spare no effort to save all we can, but you must remain calm.
Calm? You tell me to be calm? You saw those beasts? They tore our bravest warriors limb from limb! What if we are too late, huh? They catch him, stick their fangs into him? The fangs! Scream!
Get away from her, now!
Pardon me, duty calls.
Damn it! We've got to kill them before it spreads.
We'll handle this. See the townspeople to safety.
It's like their soul
Run
explodes.
as fast as you can.
Oh, no, that's just mean. Wait, stop. Timely arrival, not timely enough!
Our people, you must save them.
Don't just stand there, you dunce!
My son.
Enough! You must run. For their sake and your own.
Yes.
Oh, but we can stop it. Time for break.
Be strong, my friends! Fear not, for we will defeat these abominations!
There's the Exarch. I'm guessing Graha's gonna stay here in Thavnair now.
Women of the Radiant Host, lend your Stolar and Thancred your aid. Let not a single beast escape. The rest of you, flee this place. Carry the wounded if you must. Head indoors or underground.
Yeah, if there's anyone who knows.
Above all, stay calm. No beast will follow you. We will see to that.
If anyone knows how to speak to an entire city of despair-riddled people.
Alphino! Alice! Leave the city to us, and make for Palaka's stand at once! Matsya, show my friends to the village. I promise you, they're more capable than the host's finest.
Right. Go with them, will you? We will save these people. As many as we can.
Just don't turn to the crystal this time.